This video is a sequel to my Fall of the Berlin Wall video, and it's about the unification of Germany and how that's panned out 20 years after unification. Are there still any problems? You could get a discussion going, say about if you're an East German or a West German or a North German or a South German, how you think the video Germany's unified. Has it unified in the way you thought it would? Is it developing economically in the way that you thought it would, or are the problems that I'm going to detail here something that you know about and you can talk about in the comments page of the vid? The main thing that happened after the fall of the Berlin Wall was that people were surprised that the Soviet Union didn't try and stop it at all, or the GDR, the German Democratic Republic, didn't try and stop it, and also that the people from the GDR who were crossing over the wall didn't go in a mass flight. They came over with their gift of 100 Deutschmarks. One woman on the internet spoke about her son being given 100 Deutschmarks, and his first thing was to go into a shop and buy a Batman toy for $18, which shocked her. 18 Reichsmarks, Deutschmarks, which shocked her. I did all the currencies there. And he's still got that. Now, from an English person's perspective, I've been to Germany many times. Unfortunately, I've never seen England play Germany in Germany, but that's something for the future. There's my impression of it was mostly from the north and the west of Germany, and I haven't been to the east, but relatives of mine have been to the east. And what struck them was that there was sort of, in Berlin, was very, very up to date, very high tech, lots of shiny new buildings, massive amounts of construction going on. I think the Germans said that they've got like half of all the cranes in Europe at the moment building up East Germany. There's lots of new towns being built, but around those are the old East German dilapidated council houses and old industry that was just left. Now, this is not the impression of the GDR that people had at the time. People were very attached to the GDR, even though they couldn't stand the almost intolerable way that they had to live with the Stasi intervening in their lives. You see that the GDR was actually behind the Soviet Union in its reforms. The GDR's ideology was much closer to the China, really, and it was trying to do the same things that Deng Xiaoping was doing, in having a sort of communist consumer market, but it didn't ease off like the Soviet Union did on its political freedoms, and Gorbachev tried to put pressure on Egon Krenz to become more in line with Perestroika and Glasnost, the opening up. So people in Germany often talk about this word Gemeinschaft, which because that word in Anglo-Saxon died out after the Norman conquest, the English don't really have this word. So the closest thing we have to it is a much weaker sense of community or togetherness, a team mentality. This isn't so prevalent in the western part of Germany, although it's still the left and the centre right, the CDU, with which that's Angela Merkel's party, and she's the Chancellor of Germany. They both talk about this Gemeinschaft, this also it extends to the diaspora of the German people who are all over the world. Um, and so the people seem to have quite a deep attachment to this concept, especially in the East. But yet, there's major problems in Germany. Germany is the world's biggest exporter. Without Germany, the European Union wouldn't be a superpower. For instance, it's the fourth biggest economy on its own without being part of the European Union at all. Although, of course, it is. But there's this massive depopulation of the eastern part of Germany. When the GDR was independent, it was the fifth largest economy in Europe, and of course the West Germany was the first largest. But this flight of millions and millions of people that has gradually happened over the last 20 years has left all these shiny new towns devoid and empty of people. It is kind of like the building program in China, where they've built all these new cities for millions of people, and they're empty because people just don't have the money to live there. The East Germans are still referred to in the West as Aussies. This is they resent this. So the question of this vid is: do you think that the Germany is better off in West Germany and East Germany, or that Germany united? Now, to me, it seems that the best way that they could have gradually brought the GDR much more in line with the West through European Union money, which they're doing, but had economic zones where they opened it up to capitalism, social democratic capitalism, and gradually integrated the economy into that, so that there was a longer process. If you think about it, the GDR's full capacity of industrial output was at 77% at the time of the wall coming down, and that was destroyed basically down to 33% output. Now most of Germany's infrastructure has again moved back to the Ruhr and the rather than being on the Rhine, which it was in East Germany. And so there's this movement of industrial capital to the West. The constitution, of course, this is something that the East Germans didn't like, was that the constitution wasn't changed. It was just the West German constitution put onto the East German constitution, and West Germany and East Germany were then abolished and made the new federal German Republic, or the Deutchland Bundesrepublik, and this was something that the political class in the East still resents. I don't know about the people, but what about the future generation? The future generation often has no concept of the wall as anything other than just the wall, not what the wall meant, and that has to be educated into people. But the lack of education is actually happening about that subject, is actually helping them unify East and West. I think one thing the East and West can agree on is that they won't believe that Bavarians are Germans ever. They call Bavaria the northernmost province of Italy, and so I think that's, if anything, they don't agree on anything else. They'll agree that Bavarians aren't Germans. Okay. Hope you like the vid. Leave some comments. I hope I'm getting some English and German people to have a bit of correspondence in the vids. All the best, and peace. Long live Germany and long live England. Save the best to last.